those things, they're in the hundred thousands or a couple hundred thousands. But if you were to look at roots.web, a lot of the people that still has their money in Madison Parish, those can be traced back to slave masters. Like they're descendants of slave masters. So Tallulah's history, the black people fight to have representation and to have, all of that. We don't even have to go because it's the same history that's been across the South. But what happens is that same push, that drive, that organization that's needed, that happened then, and then we still have descendants of the civil rights movement. Those kids, they're still there, but now they don't want to allow in a new regime to kind of couple that where they allow history. You couple the strengths of, okay, what worked with the civil rights movement, and then you couple that with what do we need to take from contemporary times so that we move forward. And that's organization. That's putting our differences aside in order to allow people's strengths in the room so that we move forward. If we took the organizational skills and that love and appreciation and that patience with one another, that's a part of the history. If we took that and applied that to today's efforts, then that's how we move forward.
What exactly do you mean the organizational skills? Like, can you shine a little bit more light on? Like, do you mean like getting all the leadership to come together to understand exactly what kind of programs you need to put forward, or what do you mean by that?
So,
or is there any programs currently in place? Sorry to interrupt you.
Oh, no,
but is there any programs currently in place right now that's trying to get things moving and progressing forward?
So we have to understand, like, there are different people have different programs, and people have different programs to do different things, but it's so many problems. It's so many problems that when we have these programs, it's barely scratching the surface.
So it's not consolidated. So there's no, I guess you could say, record to keep like the whole city of Tallulah is having these specific problems and it's all categorized. There's no.
Oh, girl, no. No.
Okay.
And because
how could you put that in place? Who would be in charge of that?
So you cannot put that in place until you actually bring different people into the fold. That's just like with the city of Monroe. A lot of people are disgruntled about what's going on. They're making all of these decisions, and the people that's being most impacted, like the south side of Monroe, they're not bringing them into the fold to help bring solutions.
Right.
So when we get into our silos, right? So we have a city council, and we get into our silos, and we have, okay, this is what I think needs to happen. But hell, you know more than I know about something, and he know more than we know about something. So we have to bring in different perspectives and different lived experiences so that we can help understand what needs to go forward. Because we're all connected to different resources, to different people. So that way, if we were to bring different perspectives in and lived experiences, we would have more access to resources. We have a lot of fighting amongst board members. We have odds of board members and leadership. So when we think about organizing, we first have to think about even healing or even finding better communication skills. And I'm saying this, but that's a problem across board, across the United States, hell, across the world.
That is very true. And it's my understanding that the council does meet every couple of weeks, every few weeks.
Yeah.
And how do those meetings go? We're just being honest. How do those meetings go every few weeks?
Y'all, listen. It's a lot of in-house fighting. It's a lot of fighting with the board being perpetuated. The same narrative has been perpetuated decade after decade after decade. And so people are feeling the heaviness of it all. And so when you bring that type of mindset and experience into a room, it's gonna be a lot of back and forth.
Does the city have clear lines where the citizens can go, like a website or a phone number that they can contact, or who could they contact to make a complaint, or to be like, if this could be possible, not even, it doesn't even have to be a complaint, but just maybe a notation on the city itself, or in their specific area. Is there anybody specifically in charge of that kind of thing?
So I'm sure they call the city hall, right? They talk to the administrative assistant. And we have to also consider that change takes time. But of course, they may not feel like their voices are being heard, or it's so, like, again, I'm going to go back here, so many things that need to be done.
How are they brought up? Is there like
in a city council meeting?
Yeah, they have a place where they start reading off, okay, well, this person brought up this, or is it just kind of it goes sporadically?
Yeah, it's sporadic.
Do you think that they should put something in place then, where if you have a specific place or a specific website, do you think that should be a segment maybe in the council meeting so that the people could feel more heard?
Yes, but I also, because complaining, it always renders more complaining. But if we can also have a space. What do you think the solution should be? Who can the partner? What does partnership look like? Because we have to take ourselves out of victim mentality,
right?
And put ourselves more into, I'm a part of the solution. Because when that happens, and again, we can go back. That's renewing our mindset. That's changing mindset. If I can see myself as a part of the solution, then I know without a doubt that these things can get done, because I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna help usher in this change.
So how about community organizing? Is there anything like that going on currently? Like any kind of actual meetings, not just with the council but with the community? Or is anybody kind of trying to put like a town hall meeting for just like the residents together currently? Or is there anything that the people could know about that they should just be aware of that exists right now?
So it's a couple things that are going on. One, previously I talked about the descendants of the civil rights activists. And so we have a group of elders, because that's all, it's just a group of elders who are meeting, and they're talking about things that need to get done in Tallulah.
Can you get some details on when the meetings are at all?
Yeah, it's the fourth Saturday of each month. But y'all, this is also the meeting that I was kicked out of. They told me.
Oh no.
They told me they didn't want me to be a part of that group, and I understand. If people get set in doing a thing away for so long, then when a person comes in and trying to say, hey, you should consider this, and hey, you should consider this, then that person gonna start ego tripping. You see what I'm saying?
If this group is for the elders, though, there can always be a group created for the youth, don't you think?
But what happens is, if we're not aware of what each other are doing, then we are overlapping in steps.
I think that if one group is aware of the other, I feel as if something like that could happen one way, right? So if the elders are in a space where they're like, we want to do it this way, all the best that the younger group can do is make them aware of what their steps are, right? So if you want to do like a meeting, just make them aware and say, hey, you don't have to be a part of this thing. But at the same time, I feel like you should be aware that on October 31st, that just ran into my head. I love Halloween, I'm sorry. But on October 31st specifically, we are going to have a meeting and it's going to be about this. Just make them aware so that you're not stepping on their, but still continue forth and doing it. They don't have to be a part of it, but just continue forth with your own plans with creating a community with the people that you feel would be like-minded. Does that make sense?
All right, so, and I'll give you more insight about what I've done.
Of course, I love that.
And so, what happens is, I created a group called Build an Ally, Build a Vision, Build Tallulah. And what happens is, the first part of this is we're solely focusing on repairing people and repairing relationships, because we have to think about again, how history and everything has impacted the way that we move and the way that we navigate society and the way that we treat each other. The patience that we have with one another, the acceptance that we have with one another. That's how hard history impacts us. And so that's why it was built. Saying this, I wanted to bring everybody into a space. Hey, I've contributed to your vision. I'm not trying to take away. Come into this space so we can talk. But what I realized is, one, people are not always comfortable with other people. They may not like Sarah. They may not like Keisha, whomever it is. It's just when we think about what logically needs to happen, that's not always the best route. So in that process, because I had several meetings, in that process, I realized I have to go to them. And so, because there are different organizations, because you did ask about the different projects that's going on. There are different organizations, but what I'm charging them to do, and this is what's going on now, because that's what I previously had. I wanted them to come into the space that I helped create, but what's going on now, let me come into your space. I want to know about what is one concern that you have that you want to chip away at in Tallulah. Because what happens is, you got this project, you got this project, you got this project, all of these projects, but all you can think about is now. How can we be most impactful? So that allows me and us to strategically plan. You talked about that. That allows us to strategically plan group by group based upon what we want to see done away with. So that's where I am in the step. I've submitted the proposals to a few different organizations, and I'm waiting on them to get back with me.
Okay, that's absolutely amazing. Okay, and what kind of obstacles are in the way for moving forward right now? Is there anything that you can think of that you can think we could make a vote on to try to make it better, as far as moving forward with like getting the pipes replaced, things of that nature?
So I think personally, that we are referring too much to the Larson Act. Now, the Larson Act is the policy that's been put in place since the 1890s, in which, and of course, there have been some addendums and all of that type of stuff, some edits. But it's been in place since the 1890s, and it's such a generic document. It doesn't adhere to the needs of our city that has so many needs. You see what I'm saying? And so, because of that, there's not a level of expectation for the leadership in the city. You see what I'm saying?
What is the Larson Act exactly?
So
it's like a detailed act to do what exactly?
So it describes the rules and responsibilities of the elected officials. And so, but what it mainly talks about is money and how to use the money that we get. But what happens if you ain't got no money?
Right.
You don't have ideas of how to create revenue in a city. So what I think needs to happen, they have a free rule charter, which the bigger cities in Louisiana have them, like New Orleans, Shreveport. Monroe has a home rule charter as well. And it allows you to go step by step of what the expectations and the rules of responsibilities are for each elected position, and what power it also distributes, the power that the leadership should have, and what they need to do in order to balance that power as well. Because the expectation level needs to change.
As far as what the leadership is supposed to
do.
Okay. And what do you think their current focus is right now? Like, what do you think that they themselves are like, this is what I find to be important? Like, that you feel like, is something that maybe if they get it done, then possibly we can move forward with other things.
So it's a couple things. Again, and everybody has their own reason for doing things. They have their own identity, motivations, all of those type of things. So one of the city council, he wants to see a forensic audit. Okay. A forensic audit that allows whoever the auditor is to go back. We need to understand how this money has been spent. Why is the city so broke right now? Right. And so when I say that, that's being mentioned at every single meeting. That's a forensic audit.
To get one done, or to get one done. Get a better breakdown of what's going on. To get one done. Okay.
Yeah, to get one done. That's being mentioned at every meeting, and that allows us to better understand how the funds were allocated. Because a part of the Larson Act says that the mayor is supposed to create a budget, and the city council. Y'all, I've been looking at Kirsten. Hey y'all, I know y'all here. Yes, I know we just been having a conversation. We in this thing. But what that allows, it allows the city council. Okay, now I know where I was. I had got off track. That's right. The mayor is supposed to create the budget, but what's been going on for the last few years, the city clerk has created the budget. And so now we just trying to figure out where this money has gone. Why is the city so broke? So that's what the forensic audit allows.
And is a state do the forensic audits? How did the forensic audit, how does that process get done?
The council will vote on some type of external third party to come in and do the forensic audit. But the state...
But it has to be requested?
It has to be requested.
Through the council? So, and then
But they keep voting it down.
They just keep voting no on it.
They keep voting it no.
Oh, no.
So now that sparks up what y'all trying to hide.
Right. Yes. If the forensic audit is done and we can see the numbers and see where everything is going, then do you think that they'll see that? Are they trying to avoid that, or do you think that they just don't understand what it is? Is it like a misunderstanding? Because it could be, because I understand that some people in the older generations, they could just be stuck in their ways, right? And they could just generally not understand that this is a very important thing and this is what it is specifically. Maybe they just think it's like a way for the man upstairs to just be checking on them or something like that. Is it a misunderstood thing?
And you know what? I'm really glad that you brought that up, because a part of the friction that I believe Tallulah has, and this is no lie, is communication. Like, you may have a PhD, and then I may not have even graduated from high school. I may have a third grade education. You see what I'm saying? And so you are using vocabulary words that goes over my head. And so we're not understanding what needs to be done, because 50% of Tallulah's residents are below the poverty line. We have to understand what that is. And 80% of Tallulah's residents are black. So we need to understand that as well. And I'm saying all of that so we can get a better understanding, a better picture of Tallulah. So when you say that, a part of that could be they don't have an understanding of what needs to be done. That's why that it's all that bickering, back and forth. Nobody's able to communicate with one another. And then you have 3 city council members that oftentimes vote together, and they will vote against what the other 2 city council members have to say. And they 3 is going to always beat that 2. But what happens to what the people actually need? How can we come together and think about what the people need in order so we can move the city forward?
That is very true, and it's my understanding. If you could shed a little light, that even with, usually how you would combat this is by voting in people that does understand. But it's to my understanding that they don't have anybody that's really going against them when they do run. It's been like that for quite some time, correct?
Yes. Yes. Because it is definitely about who we know. You see what I'm saying? But my brother always say people listen to who they like, know, and trust. And so you may be cool people. Hell, you come in Friday night, we on the porch, we sipping up some beers, but I'm comfortable with you. And so you may not have the leadership characteristics that I need, but because I'm comfortable with you, I'm going to vote you in. And that's why the city has been damned as well. It's called identity politics.
Do you think that it's possible to try to get more people in to do running? Or how does that work exactly when a city needs more leadership? Is it possible to have somebody move into the city and then, trying to get the people's attention that way? And then since they're in the city, they moved into the city, they can run or at all? Do you think we should get the word out? Or how do you think that should go? Or do you think we should try to focus on the people that's there?
Y'all, this is my next approach, because one is I have two approaches. One, I'm trying to get people organized around what they want to do, not something that's folks trying to force on them. This is something you want to see done, you want to do it. Let me help you create a plan. That's my stake in that. But then we have to teach people how to vote. If they have never ever.
Do you know anything about the statistics on the voting turnout?
Oh, girl, Tallulah has about 6,000 people, and I know that when you looked it up, it was about 7,000. But Tallulah has about 6,000 people, and so we only get about 1,000 votes for elections, a little over 1,000 votes. And so we have a very small voter turnout. But this is why I'm gonna be pushing a message. This is the most important election of Tallulah's existence.
That is coming up. When is the next election?
In April and May of next year, 2026.
Okay. So do you think that the low turnout is because the voices aren't loud enough to try to get people out there to vote because it's so important? Or do you think that it's other things in the way of the turnout? What do you think is wrong with the turnout?
People are hopeless. They tired. I ain't never seen nothing change. Why I need to go out and vote? These people aren't representing me. Why do I need to go out and vote?
So what kind of message would you give them to let them know, hey, your vote does matter. These are the things that we're voting on. Is there like a website, a ballot, or somewhere where they could look at what they're voting on to understand that their vote matters? Because these things are being voted on, right? The things that are important to Tallulah, things that's in reference to the current person, Magnolia Waters, who's over the water system currently.
The receivership. Yeah,
so they do votes on things that's like that, right? So
what happened with the receivership?
Let's talk about that.
It kept going to the city council, and they waited until the very last minute, and the governor was like, no, it's time to intervene. And so they didn't even have the wherewithal. They didn't do the freaking research. You see what I'm saying? Like, people get into these positions for this extra money. And they get into these positions for this extra money, and they won't equip themselves to be what Tallulah needs. And so that's why, hey, first, this is the most important election of Tallulah's existence. This upcoming one.
Why is that?
Because a lot of this stuff, whether Tallulah will move, this determines how funds are being allocated, who's gonna create more revenue for the city, what type of programs does the city need in order to not just to help progress the youth, because we have to have them in mind. And so this is why these things are so important. How is Tallulah gonna progress? We have to progress beyond what we've given to the city. That means what the council members, it's been mediocrity everywhere around. You see what I'm saying? And so that's why this is the most important. So what's being done now, there are door hangers being made. We're gonna get out. It's going to be first voter education. The rest of this year, we talked about the renewal of the mindset. I've been talking about things that Tallulah needs, but this get out the vote. We going door to door. Hey, these are the questions you need to be asking. This is what you're looking for. You need to find people that have integrity, that have a vision, that's actually worked toward their vision. Because hell, this stuff didn't start. These things that Tallulah is dealing with didn't start when you decided to run. Don't allow people to just tell you anything and they're going to give you a fish plate and they're going to get elected. No. Because guess what? Your water's still going to be brown. All them sediments going to be in that water. And then Tallulah's streets need to be repaved. That's still going to be undone. Tallulah needs visitors. That still won't happen. If you keep electing the same people, we'll never move beyond what we are now.
And speaking of getting the viewers and getting the residents educated, I remember you mentioning something about them being against like receivership or trying to tie into nearby systems, but that can be something that's very good for the city. Can you give some more education and some more knowledge on how that could actually be beneficial, or do you think it's something that could be introduced, or they just have a lack of an understanding of it?
So when we look at if cities lose their water systems, a lot of times those cities go bankrupt. And so we have to, with Tallulah being so small, we have to look at how do I become more independent of what the government is working to get, which that's what their receivership is. It allowed them to come in, let me help you bring your water plant up to date, up to code. Let me help you find some coins. But we have to create a plan to continue to shape and mold our workforce to be able to sustain and progress our water plant. And so that's what that is, because if we connect to another water source, we lose the independence of having our own plant. For instance, if we were to look at Newellton, Louisiana has dropped down from a town to a village. So
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yes.
A village is a thing that you can mark down. Wow. Okay.
And they've lost their. So we have to think about the long-term plan when we talking about I'm gonna merge with another water source. So that's taking away our independence. So yeah, people are frustrated with that.
Okay. So if that's something that they're going against, you said something about the receivership. That's with Magnolia Waters right now. Are they ever contested, or is it how is that progress being put forward with what they're instituting into all of this?
Yeah. So what they're looking for ways to plant more aquifers. And so Aquafire will allow us to come to pull water from a water source. And y'all, let me tell you something. This is not my expertise. So if y'all see a little dents, I'm trying to explain it to the best of my ability.
Honey, we're all here.
Yes.
I don't understand it either, but we're getting the information out there the best as possible. And that's all we can do. Give the facts as best we can.
Yeah, and so they're looking to pull water from another source, but Tallulah has a lot of issues with pesticides because a lot of the water is coming. The farmers are also using those aquifers in order to water crops and stuff, because a lot of what Tallulah's revenue not Tallulah, but Madison Parish's revenue consists of is agriculture. And so they have to use those aquifers, and then you have a city of people that also have to use them. And so it's just a lot of they have to figure out where to pull more water from. And
is that a mapping issue? Like, as far as like, just does it have to be like in Tallulah on the land, or do you think that it's possible to talk about outsourcing that kind of thing?
And they have talked about the Mississippi River, because Tallulah is about 15 miles from Vicksburg, Mississippi. And as you're going into Vicksburg, there's the Mississippi River. And so that's been a topic of conversation. But I do know that they are working to rehab the water plant that we do have. And y'all, they've done a much, much better job, because, girl, when I tell you, that doggone water, it was horrible. It was nasty. It was dirty. And so we can visually see progress. And so I am grateful for that.
Amazing.
Yes, I am grateful for that.
And as far as next steps, what do you think? Like, even if something as close as the next meeting, what do you think is something that we could bring up or try to implement that could bring us forward and just progress everything forward?
I think, and this is what I'm doing for the rest of the year, it's just mindset renewal. We have to get the citizens, because yes, it does start at the top. I do believe that choosing the right elected officials to speak on the behalf of the citizens in rooms that they don't have access in, that is key. But if you mobilize a sleeping giant, and that's what all the people across the United States, please don't get it twisted. If people mobilize around things that they are passionate about, that's how real progress moves. But my next steps, I am working to educate the people on how they need to be voting, what questions they need to be asking these candidates, what do they need to be looking for. That's what I'm going door to door to in order for them to better understand that, because like I say, change does start at the top.
Yes.
And so that's what I'm doing as well. I want to help you do what you want to do, and then I want to help you better understand how to vote so those things can work together.
Okay. And is there, for voting, so since we were talking about the importance of voting, let's just clarify here, is there a website? What is the website? Or is there a specific location just for the upcoming election that's coming up? Do you know any details about that?
So, you're talking about the election for next year.
How does the voting system work in Tallulah?
So they go to the polls.
Okay.
And you can sign up on Go Vote. You can register to vote. You can change
registration.
Yes. You can change, and that's Go GEAUX. Yeah.
Very important.
Yeah. I know y'all. It's a Louisiana thing. In my head off this camera.
Yes! I just realized.
Look, y'all gonna be hearing my voice. Y'all may not see me.
They'll see you. We're gonna make sure we get in there.
But that's Go Vote, so they can register to vote. They can change their voting address, and they can also. I'm working with Black Voters Matter. Black Voters Matter is going to be my partner, and Black Voters Matter is a national organization, and so they're going to sponsor whatever I need in order to get it to the people. So they're sponsoring the door hangers. They're gonna give us shirts. And actually what we're doing in Tallulah is gonna be a part of a pilot program for deep canvassing.
Okay.
So yeah, things are unfolding. It's just walking it out, y'all. Change takes time. Change takes energy, and change takes the willingness to continue to dig within ourselves to see what's working and what's not working. We have to continue to diminish our own egos.
Do you think that you should put something, or there should be something in place to organize, to meet with every month or so, just to see how the progress is going? Or do you think there's an idea out there where you can have even something as small as like a webinar, online meeting, where everybody can just go into like a classroom, like you know how you used to do Skype. I know Skype is still thing. You know, you can Skype and have meetings in certain specific locations and areas, and being like, hey, so many of these people have shown interest, and this is the difference from last year, and we're predicting the turnout to be this way. How about something like that?
So I do Transforming Tallulah Tuesdays every Tuesdays on Facebook.
What's that? Transforming Tallulah.
So Transforming Tallulah Tuesdays is like kind of like this. I have conversations like last night. I just spoke with Melanie Salisbury, who's the organizer for North Louisiana, to help us better understand where does this desire for Tallulah, how does this fit in a larger context? What is the political climate looking like across the United States, and why is it important that we organize locally?
Is that on a specific platform?
It's on Facebook, y'all.
It's on Facebook. After this, if you can, I'll get her to, if you can send me the link, and then I'll put the link below, and then y'all will have it available for future reference, just so you can have more people come into that.
Yeah.
And it's a live kind of
it's a live. It's a live conversation. So that just helped us to understand Tallulah in a grander context. Girl, no. Because I don't know, are you familiar with the redistricting case going on in Louisiana right now?
Go ahead and
so Louisiana has 6 congressional districts. And then with those 6 congressional districts, the black population of Louisiana is about 32%. And so when we think about that, with those 6 congressional districts, they're fighting for a second majority black congressional district. And they're fighting for a second majority black congressional district because we are the second largest population in the state. And people are so fixated on race, and I understand that. But y'all, with this, and it's gone all the way to the Supreme Court.
Really?
Yes, and they're bringing up voting rights issues, and they're saying that they're fighting for this solely based upon race, when it's not based upon race, y'all. It's based upon representation. And let me help you to understand this.
Yeah, because I was about to ask how, if isn't the representation about the race, you would assume? Or is it about, like, area or what?
So let me help. All right. So say, for instance, if we grew up fishing, everything around us was conducive to that fishing. We were surrounded by swamps. We had bait houses around us that would allow us to go get the bait. We're pescatarians. That's all we eat. We've been this way for generations. And then you bring somebody in, hell, they come from a hunting family or a hunting area. And then with those, they coming from a hunting area, everything around them was conducive to hunting. The systems allowed I'm here, y'all. I know. My bad. Yes. So the systems was conducive to them hunting. All they understood was hunting. But because over here with fishing, hell, the rent may be cheaper. So let me mosey on over here and see what the fish people doing. And now I'm going to lead them. And I have no understanding of what fish culture needs and why they have. And I'm trying to lead them and I don't have no understanding. It's the same thing. It's been a system that's created the things that we need. We've had history that's created where we are. That's why we need representation in spaces that we don't have access to, because we need people who understand, hey, this is what my family needs. This is how we've gotten here. So that's all that is. It's beyond race. It's about representation, and representation created by the systems and the cultures that got them there.
Okay. And so what are they going to be discussing when they go to this? Because you're going to be, you possibly a speaker.
I am going.
You're going to be a speaker there?
Yeah, I'm going. I'm not sure how the setup is going to be, but I know I'll be lobbying, and I'm not sure how the speaking aspect and stuff is gonna go.
Do you know what the discussions will be, or what will be on the table as far as what they're talking about?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're pushing back against a second black congressional district solely based upon race, because they're saying like we shouldn't be having this or having a second black congressional district because of race, but it's beyond race. It's about representation.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm slow.
Oh, it's
okay, trying to get the best understanding that I can to see exactly what the topic is. So, the way that are they trying to take a vote away? Are they trying to give a vote?
They are trying to eliminate a second black congressional district.
A whole district. What are they trying to
put it
all together?
So let me. They have maps drawn on the map.
Yeah.
And based upon the drawings of the map, the voting map, the congressional map, they created a second black congressional district. And I think that was 2024 when Governor Landry was elected. He agreed to this. And now you have constituents like, no, we don't want this second black congressional district based upon it's based upon race.
And
because
the importance of this district is that they have their own vote, correct?
They have their own, yeah.
So if you take away this district, then you're just left with the one vote instead of having two.
Yeah, the vote based upon the needs of the people, because the majority black people, majority black people are in this district. Mm-hmm. But if I move the congressional lines, you have a group of people that their voices may not be represented in the elections of the Congress people. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yes. Okay.
And we have to consider
they have their own different separate viewpoints of things that needs to be heard. It's very important.
The hunter versus the fisher.
Very important. Okay. So what can you do to bring attention to that then? Is there anything that could be possibly done? Any more research that needs to be done beforehand? Or is there anything that the people could do possibly to assist with this effort?
I mean, y'all, if y'all can show up at the Supreme Court Lord, I went from April to August. On October 15th, that would be great. But just continuing to talk about it online. And y'all get involved in your communities. It is important. Well, first you have to understand what it is that you're supposed to be doing. And we talked about this last night. We have to have an understanding, because y'all, we be everywhere, we be sporadic, but we really have to start strategically thinking about where we want our time and energy to go in a progression of our neighborhoods. We're responsible for the communities that first invested in us. If we have a community, that depends on, hell, it don't matter if you're black, Puerto Rican, a part of the LGBTQIA movement, whatever it is that you feel the community has best invested in you, it is incumbent upon you in order to go and invest that time. We're in perilous times, y'all, and we cannot take that for granted. We cannot. So that means that it needs to be all of us.
Is this some of the discussions that you have on that Tuesday meeting on Facebook?
Yes.
So they can bring their questions, their concerns, and everything in there, and y'all talk about that as a community, right? Usually that's Tallulah community people talking about things that they're bringing attention to.
So this is about me. So this is what I do. They go, I just have a different approach. I don't like a lot of complaining. That's just, it weighs on my spirit. You know, I feel it in my body. And so I have to allow different perspectives.
Exactly.
Let us understand what we should appreciate, and let us understand what we can do better. Because if we lead with gratitude, then it allows more room for us to be grateful for something. And so, yeah, that's why I wanted to add a different perspective.
I love that. And can you tell us anything about who leads the charge as far as the actual decisions? Is it the mayor, the council, or the public works director?
So according to the Larson Act, the mayor is the tiebreaker. But it's three people. Remember, I talk about it's three people that always vote together. Yes. And then it's two people. But if she adds and she come in here, she can't tie break because she's the sixth person. Yeah. But that's supposed to be her role. But that allows for the check and balance to happen.
Okay. All right. Well, is there anything else that you want to just bring attention to? Anything that you want to highlight?
Yes. And y'all, we talked about a lot of the negative stuff that's going on in Tallulah, but I have to say that I love the fact, and it's like Cheers, y'all. I don't know if you ever heard of Cheers?
I heard the TV show.
Yes.
Who haven't seen Cheers?
I know. So it's like, I love the fact that when you go to the grocery store, like, everybody knows your name. It's such a warm place. And y'all, I was minding my own business, doing my own thing, and it was like a kick in the gut. It was like, it's time to go home. Like, it was definitely a calling from God. But I understand why, because if we don't change those places that first invested in us, ain't nobody else gonna change it. And so that's why it's important for us to appreciate where we are and what we're doing, and it's important for us to go out and do the work. We cannot expect nobody else to do what it is that we're being called to do for our own communities that's first invested in us.
And how close do you think we are to that?
Y'all, it's a shaking going on now, from federally. If we're not uncomfortable enough to do the work, I don't know what hell is going to prompt us to do the work. I feel like now we're building from foundation because we got so comfortable. We were so lenient on a system that was built on clouds. And we have to understand that. So we should be provoked into purpose at this point. We got crap to do, y'all. Ain't nobody else gonna do it. It's on us. We gotta do it. And I think that the time is now. We can't run. We can't hide. We can't avoid what socialization, what political climate we're in. We gotta do it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right now, y'all. In this time, right now.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Well, I think that's it for today. Is there, unless there's nothing else that you want to tie out with, anything else that you want to bring attention to? I will be linking the Facebook link below for your talk show. It's not a talk show. What is it called?
I don't know, girl. Transforming Tallulah Tuesday.
Transforming Tallulah Tuesday. I'll be linking that below, just to bring attention to that and just to bring more attention to what's going on in Tallulah, so y'all can have a nice community. Let the residents come together. That's the most important part, right? It's for the residents to get that information out. All right.
And y'all, you have the ability to go choose love, and it doesn't matter what people have done to you. You have the authority and the power to love. Love will cover a lot of the wrongdoings. If we show grace and we show love to one another, that's gonna inspire other people to love. So take your moments to breathe, y'all, and allow yourself to reset, and that way you can go forth in love.
That's absolutely beautiful. I love that. All right. That is all we're going to have time for today.
Okay,
Mama. We're going to end on that beautiful note. And I appreciate everybody that came and saw today. I will be coming out with this in an edited version. It's going to be coming out on Bunny Brief. So y'all can look forward to that. And until next time, guys.
Peace out.
I will see you. Bye-bye.